What is your name and role at the hotel?
My name is Doug Korn, and I'm the general manager at the USS Grant, a luxury collection hotel in San Diego.
What does a luxury collection hotel mean?
Luxury collection hotels are part of the luxury group of Marriott hotels. There are 31 brands within the Marriott portfolio, several which are luxury hotels, Ritz-Carlton, St. Regis, and then the luxury collection group. Every hotel in the luxury collection is unique. There are no two hotels that are alike. There are over 100 of those hotels around the globe, and about 20 of them exist here in the United States.
Why is it named after President Ulysses S. Grant?
This hotel is named after President Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th President of the United States, because his son and daughter built it and were operating the hotel, but they built the hotel to honor the president. This is the second hotel that actually sits on the site. Ulysses S. Grant Jr., or Buck, as he was known, and his daughter Fanny purchased what was called the Horton House back in the late 1800s. That was the original hotel in downtown San Diego, built by Alonzo Horton, the founder of our downtown area. And he built that hotel, operated for about 20 years, and then Buck and Fanny Chafee purchased that hotel and operated it for 10 years prior to tearing it down and building this beautiful hotel to honor his father, the 18th president.
How old is the hotel?
The hotel opened in 1910, so it's going to celebrate its 115th birthday this year. It has gone through a number of different ownership groups throughout the year and played an important role in San Diego's history throughout the years as the economic conditions have changed over time, ownership groups changed over time, welcoming travelers to the city, whether it be for leisure, whether they were moving to the city, or even hosting groups in the hotel. The current ownership group is called the Sycuan Band of the Kumeyaay Nation. They've owned the hotel since 2003. And it's a very interesting story. It's called a full circle story that they're very proud to share with others, that the hotel sits on land that was once the Kumeyaay Indian tribes' land, and they've roamed this land for more than 10,000 years. In the late 1800s, when President Ulysses S. Grant knew that the land in this area was being acquired to become the state of California, he signed the executive order that designated a reservation land out in East County for Sycuan for them to live on. Over the years, Sycuan struggled on that land all the way up into the 1980s when they actually had the vision to start a revenue stream of income. They began a bingo hall, had some income in the 80s. When gaming became legalized on the reservations in the 1990s, they opened up a casino and they came into greater wealth. And then it was recommended that the tribe diversify their investments. And they saw that this hotel was for sale in the early 2000s. And they thought, what a great opportunity to come back home again to land that was once theirs and purchase a building that was named after the president that signed the executive order designating their reservation land out in East County. So they call it the coming back home or full circle story, having pride in the ownership since 2003 in this beautiful hotel.
Can you tell us about the history of the hotel?
Again, it's played an important role throughout the years. We've welcomed presidents, first ladies, dignitaries as they visited San Diego. It has been the gathering spot for many in downtown San Diego. The hotel sits on Broadway, which was known as D Street back in the time, and the Horton Plaza Park right across from the hotel has a fountain that was dedicated on opening day in 1910. It was the central gathering spot in the city, in that park. And then the hotel itself was the gathering spot for many galas, many election night celebrations, many political dignitaries have visited the hotel. People have celebrated their weddings, anniversaries, birthday celebrations. Corporations have come and hosted meetings. It was also the very first spot that Comic-Con held its first convention back in 1970 in the Bivouac Ballroom on the lower level of the USS Grant. So it continues to be an important part of San Diego's history. It was designated on the National Historic Register in the mid-1980s before it went or could have been gone in front of a wrecking ball. Someone was considering tearing it down before it was designated on the National Historic Register. So now it can no longer be torn down and will continue on for many years to come.
How does the hotel include its history and its operations?
We offer historic tours every weekend of the hotel. Our concierge team provides a background of the history of the hotel. They share many of the stories of visitors who have visited throughout the year, the different ownership groups that are there. We have a number of historic artifacts on display, historic postcards, portraits of the presidents that have visited the hotel. The first one that welcomes everyone into the hotel is Ulysses S. Grant, right as you enter the front door of the hotel. And we share a number of the stories. There is also a time capsule embedded right in the lobby floor that has memorabilia from the early days of the hotel. It was also opened during the restoration in 2005 and 2006 when Sequan first purchased it and converted the hotel to luxury collection. They updated the time capsule at that point in time, and then we opened it again in 2010 as we celebrated the 100th anniversary. There are the front page of the Union Tribune from opening day in 1910. We have also added the one from the 100th anniversary celebration. We, at that time, included a DVD player with DVD videos of the 100th anniversary celebration. So with instructions on how to use a DVD player so that one day when that gets opened again, many years from now, and people look back and think, what is a DVD player? What was the technology of the time in 2010? So we provide the tours not only for hotel guests, but also meeting planners that are coming to the property to plan for their upcoming group meetings and conventions. And oftentimes they will incorporate some of the history of the hotel into their meetings with our concierge team addressing the group. The executive chef will actually prepare sometimes food that gets celebrated through the decades that people can enjoy and reminisce and think about the history of this magnificent hotel.
How does the hotel handle renovations and modernizations?
Again, being a historic building, we are required, particularly when it comes time to doing any work on the exterior of the building, to work with the City of San Diego and its historic division to present plans for what we're looking to do and gain approval prior to commencing any work. Most recently in 2023 and 24, we did a complete restoration of the facade of the building, which included tap testing every inch of the concrete to make sure that it was sound, where there were deficiencies or cracks or hollow spots. They chipped away, they replaced some of the metal rebar that was in there, and then repaired the concrete using forms to recreate the original context of what that form was supposed to look like, and then recoated the building with 2 coats of paint. We worked with an engineering firm, and then we worked with a historic preservation architect to ensure that the work was being done to the codes and compliance with preservation requirements. And then also in looking at the colors that were used to make sure that it was in keeping not only with the architectural style, but also the time period of the building.
What are your future plans for the hotel?
Future plans, well, we'll continue to welcome guests from all over the world on a regular basis, whether it's for meetings and groups or whether it's celebrations or leisure visits to San Diego. But as the neighborhood continues to develop and change, whether it's with residential towers, new office complexes, theaters that are in the area, really looking to make sure that we continue to stay current, as well as make sure that the offerings that we provide for the guests are appropriate. So we are in the process of looking at all of the development in the neighborhood and potentially adding some additional restaurants, lobby bar, really repositioning our food and beverage to being appropriate for the future travelers that are coming. It is a luxury hotel. It sometimes could be considered old luxury or traditional luxury. We do a number of black tie galas, military balls where people are dressed But then there's also the new modern luxury traveler who is a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more casual. So we want to make sure that as we deliver on a luxury, very, very service-focused experience for that guest, that it's not overly formal and standoffish for those guests. So we're trying to find the balance between retaining its historic significance, but also welcoming that new traveler to the hotel.
How can you keep its historical accuracy through any changes that are made?
Again, working with a number of different organizations, particularly the historic guidance from the city, as well as preservation architects. But as we're working on doing the interior work, again, looking back at telling different stories. San Diego and Alonzo Horton originally built the Horton Garden in downtown San Diego to showcase the number of different horticultural elements of San Diego and the floral and the fauna and things that were prevalent during the time. And we're looking at bringing some of that back, particularly in this day where people are focused on sustainability, really trying to balance that as well as tell new stories that continue to build excitement and enthusiasm for guests to come and visit and learn about our area and the hotel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.